Hello, I am Barendipitous with another video for my TCG shelf, and here I'm going to show you my Magic the Gathering collection. Well, at least the portion that is not in self-contained playable experiences, basically the collection part of my Magic the Gathering collection, and it's not very big. I never really played or collected Magic the Gathering. Even while I was collecting, Pokemon, Digimon, Harry Potter, Pirates, Constructible Strategy Game, and whatever, I don't know. I just never really got into Magic. I was just more into the I don't know, more into the sort of silly, goofy, cartoony kind of things. But of course, in recent years, I've definitely learned a lot about you know the the history and the culture around Magic the Gathering, and obviously since I've become interested in D&D ever since like the tail end of my college years, I've come to appreciate Magic the Gathering more because Wizards of the Coast currently publishes both Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, and there was a time when there was a very direct overlap, and that's why I have these cards, these Magic the Gathering cards here, which starts here. This is a different this is the Harry Potter collection, but this is where my Magic the Gathering collection starts, and again, it's not very long, but these are from the first D&D set. In fact, over here, this is a kind of like sort of screen or like sort of box that I got from a Dungeons and Dragons sort of like set of booster packs, like 11 booster packs or something, like 10 normal booster packs and one collector booster. And so I have them all here in like card number order, basically. And yeah, I just really like all of the various D&D references. Monk of the Open Hand, Devoted Paladin, the Book of Exalted Deeds. A lot of these spells and situations and magic items and creatures I recognize from D&D. I also love the concept of like having a card that represents a class. In this case, I only have like 3 classes, I think, but here's the Paladin class right here. And so when you level up, something happens, right? And I think that's really cool. But yeah, obviously a lot of Paladin, the Potion of Healing. What other like things do I? Yeah, Veteran Dungeoneer. You hear something on watch. I also love the cards that are basically like a dungeon master telling you that something happened. You hear something on watch. You're abandoned on the road, and so on and so forth. Right? Air Cult Elemental, Arcane Investigator, Charmed Sleep, Shocking Grasp. And I do have copies of a lot of these cards as well because I opened a fair number of packs. But I only have one copy of each card in here, and then all the other copies are in a different box, basically. So if I have multiple copies of something like Shocking Grasp, then I basically just I have the foil version of that in here. Eyes of the Beholder. You find the villain's lair. You see a guard approach. And so yeah, we did white and then blue, and now we're in the black cards. Hired Hex Blade, Yuan Ti Blade, Warlock class here. Getting into the red cards now. Barbarian class, Dueling Rapier, Earth Cult Elemental, Dragonfire. There's some like there's some Wizards of the Coast D&D characters in here as well. I think, or at least in the set. I don't remember if there were. Oh yeah, there are some. I think a couple cards of some characters I recognize or I've heard of. You come to the Null Camp. Oh yeah, the Druid class here. Find the Path, Inspiring Bard. You meet in a tavern. There's just some cards that I'm just glad to have. Like they're not like special or rare necessarily or whatever. But I'm just like, it's just nice to have a Magic the Gathering card that is all about you meet in a tavern. Just having that encapsulated in a card is just cool and fun. I like that a lot. I like that. I love that about this set in general. Monk class, Sorcerer class. Oh, I guess I have more than 3 classes in here. And then getting to like multicolored kind of thing. And then getting into artifacts, we have dungeon map, 50 feet of rope. There's something cool about artifacts in Magic the Gathering to me. I don't know exactly, but see, great axe, leather armor, spare dagger, treasure chest, dungeon descent, temple of the dragon queen, reminding me of the horde of the dragon queen and like the rise of Tiamat adventure. And then these land cards. Oh my gosh, these land cards are so cool. Like for example, this plains card right here. Now there are several different there are several different land cards. Not all the plains cards show like this frozen wasteland or whatever. But I just really love this one, not because it's foil, not just because it's foil, but because I've run the Rime of the Frost Maiden printed adventure in D&D twice. I've run that campaign twice, and it takes place right here. You've traced the tensions in 10 towns to the dwindling reindeer populations, but what has been hunting them? This is in Icewind Dale, and the 10 towns is like a group of 10 towns in the middle of Icewind Dale. And, oh yeah, I guess I have all the types of plains in here. Yeah, I just, these land cards are beautiful. I believe some of these are like areas in the Underdark, and I've run adventures in there as well. So yeah, plains, islands, swamps, mountains, and forests. Each of there's 4 of each kind here, various locales in the Forgotten Realms. And here are all these special cards, mostly from like the collector's pack or something like that. I've got an adult gold dragon here. I've got the Wand of Orcus. I haven't done very much with I've run a campaign that featured demon lords, so I have some memories of using the character of Orcus and the wand and things like that. I love these cards here that have this like old like older D&D has the style of like an older D&D book from like first or second edition or something like that. So I have Celestial Unicorn, Manticore, Westgate Regent, Bullet. I've used Bullet a few times. They're lots of fun. Brunner Battlehammer. I recognize that character from just like Forgotten Realms lore. Gretchen Titchwillow. I don't recognize her necessarily, or Hama Pashar, Ruin Seeker, but cool art style. And of course, classic Mimic right here. Also, I do have the Black Staff of Waterdeep, and I of course have run Waterdeep Dragon Heist, in which the character who uses this staff is featured in there. I especially love this land card right here that is not just foil, but also meant to look like the front cover of an old D&D adventure. Back in the day, they had like these paperback booklets, almost like magazines, that kind of had this front to it with the name of the adventure, and adventure for character levels 1 to 3 or 11 to 16 or whatever. And an image and stuff. And so the fact that they made that into a card is really, really cool. Then a lot of cards in this set deal with treasure chests, and here's a foil version of that. So yeah, that's basically it for my Magic the Gathering collection, the collection part of it. I do have more Magic the Gathering stuff. But I've shown that off am showing that off on my board game shelf playlist, because those are kind of more like self-contained playable things. I have like two normal playable decks. I have 2 tiny playable decks, and then I have this unsanctioned this box called Unsanctioned or whatever, where it's just like silly Magic the Gathering cards. You pick 2 colors, you shuffle them together, and you make a deck, and your opponent picks 2 and shuffles them, and you both play. And so yeah, I have those in my board game area because those are more to play and not really to collect. But these cards in here are my collection. So even though Magic the Gathering is the most ubiquitous and most famous and popular trading card game, I don't have as much of it because I was never as interested in it as I was in Pokemon or other things like that. But because it overlapped with Dungeons and Dragons, I have these. And I know, of course, Magic the Gathering has crossed over with a lot of other properties, Doctor Who, Transformers, and whatever, and things like that, Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I generally kind of feel, whenever I want to collect stuff, I tend to, kind of favor, Pokemon cards or something else that might be maybe like more like nostalgia based or things like that. Nostalgia for me, because I don't have a lot of nostalgia for Magic specifically, but I do appreciate, I very much appreciate the place that Magic has in the history of trading card games And they do lots of cool stuff sometimes, in spite of various controversies, especially throughout the whole year of 2023. Which Wizards of the Coast just had a rough 2023 anyway. But that is not the point of this video. The point is showing off these cards, and I've done that. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, all the best.